Hello and welcome. We've got a very special guest, Shaili Chopra of All Cargo. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for the invite.
First off, what has it been like to become a large mid-cap firm? Has that sort of really, because initially when you started out, that time you were not quite on the radar of even private equity firms. Suddenly you had all that attention. How did All Cargo take it?
I think you need to take life the way it comes and learn every day and make the most out of it. We have been lucky to be in the right place at the right time. Logistics is an industry which is poised to substantial growth because of the economic development, and we've been one of those companies who've been able to move beyond India,
right,
also at the opportune time, and that gave us the global exposure in terms of business, travel, and understand not only to how to do business internationally, also how business is done internationally, and bring those best practices to our own country.
I was just going to ask you, so really the biggest efforts that All Cargo might have seen is the move from being what would be a traditional conservative company to one that tries to achieve best practices.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think always it has been my effort to put the right systems, right professionals doing the job.
But how challenging was it to actually do that at a time when, there is always, I would say, hesitance to change, right?
Yeah.
There's a little stickiness towards, let's just do it, it's been going fine, why do this change, why professionalize it?
Yeah.
At what stage was the turning point?
I think, in my point of view, I think right from the beginning, I always try to hire the right quality of people in my company, and because I believe in creating more people who thinks and works like me. And that is how your scaling up of the business becomes that much faster.
Okay.
So it was kind of was in my DNA all the time, and all these opportunities of acquisitions and the opportunities emerged in India, they all helped myself to be tested better and better, and it got the best out of me, I think.
Okay, we'll talk about the best or the better out of Shaili Chopra ahead. Thanks for joining us, Shashi, again. We've been having a chat about how things are going for you, your game. Let's get down to the real contours of business. We were telling our viewer about good times, bad times, and keeping your team upbeat. How have you managed to do it in the time that you went through the recession and then you've come back to recovery?
Particularly during the recession, all of us are very much worried what was going to happen, particularly after watching what happened to the global freight rates,
right,
and the ship prices. They all just fell off the cliff.
And that's bad for All Cargo.
That's not really turned out to be bad for us, because we are not asset rich as a company in the shipping side of the business.
Right.
We are a solution provider. So we don't have exposure to serious debt.
What do you mean by serious debt?
Serious debt is in terms of leveraging your equity far too much.
Yeah. So what's yours right now?
We are even now at 0.5 to the equity what we have as a company.
So is that what you're saying, that you try to keep your costs lower than most other competitors in the space?
No, I think there are two things, two different things. In terms of our debt equity ratio, we are aggressive as a company for growth, but we're not so aggressive in terms of leveraging the equity. So we've always been under leveraged company in terms of debt. Which is not so good sometimes, but fortunately at that time we were fairly under leveraged, and we've been able to raise capital, so we're sitting a little bit of a comfortable position in terms of the cash in the company.
But sometimes they say that very comfortable cash can also become discomforting until you put it to use.
Yes.
You're a listed player.
Yes.
How often do you get quizzed about using this money?
Yeah, we kept on investing the money. I mean, we didn't sit on the money for far too long a period. We had specific reasons why we went to the capital market 3 times. Once was a private equity, and then followed within a year with a public issue, and then we wanted to create a greater amount of liquidity and a greater amount of investor base for our company, so we decided to go for a QIP.
Right.
And at that time Blackstone came and said that we want to buy the whole lot, so that's the only way we are interested. And that's the time just about the recession was in the horizon, and we felt instead of going through the public issue once again, we thought that why not we give it to Blackstone, and that's how they came in and
there's always that debate that what does private equity bring to the table?
Yeah.
it's a good chance for me to ask a promoter because you know private equity bosses can go on talking about it.
Yes.
But what has private equity brought to your table?
You know, I think we always hope that these kind of associations and alliances brings you a greater value for your business, which is always a hope a promoter has.
Yeah.
And private equity also kind of articulates that they can bring a greater value.
Including bringing money.
In addition to bringing money.
This is a first generation company.
Absolutely.
So what were the challenges? And obviously it seems like a story that started out very basic to have grown into something bigger.
Started as a transportation company, like I said, then got the opportunity to start All Cargo, and that was a niche place where All Cargo has focused into. That is called the less than container load cargo, consolidation of less than container load cargo, and distributed all over the world, which was predominantly done by the shipping companies, the ship owners themselves.
Right.
And because of their sheer size, they were not able to provide the kind of a service that company like ours were able to provide.
Did you also sometimes think it wasn't typically one of those businesses which was already doing so well at that time? You know, it was the interest in technology, something more sexy. How did you deal with that brick and mortar idea?
Because that's the business I knew about, right? And I could see, I could sense, you know, that uniqueness for me to deliver.
So bunkers and fairways are always part of business.
Yes.
Tell us, recession was a big bunker. What else has been the real tough spot for All Cargo?
Quite frankly, I can't think of anything as severe as the recession.
Was there any point when you wanted to say, I'm sorry, but you know, I can't go ahead with this work? It's something is bogging me down, even when you were sort of moving into the concept of All Cargo?
No.
Never?
Never.
And what kept you so optimistic about life and business?
Because, you know, I kept on growing, and I kept myself happy. Of course, I have a lot of challenges day to day. There are a lot of issues I have to deal with because it is a business which is a service industry. You have all those challenges which any service industry faces today in terms of people, system, disorganized, multiple geographies in which you have to operate.
Yeah.
You name it. I mean, with the government regulations, which are a major issue in the logistic industry, because there is infrastructural bottleneck, there is policy issues with the government. Multiple agencies are involved in regulating our business. So it has got all sorts of challenges. So it really makes you a man of steel to really deal with the issues. So what I did in my case is that's the other reason why I have to professionalize and I have to bring people with those skills so that I or any of my people do not end up doing too much of multitasking.
Brilliant shot. So I can see one good shot can change the game and make the day.
Make the day and make you come back again and again.
Make you come back to the game.
Again.
What has been your comeback shot in business?
I think the acquisition of Equilines.
That has really been a comeback shot?
Comeback shot, yeah.
And Equilines, you know, when you looked at the size, the market cap, what made you go for it, the big story out there?
It was a little bit of a defensive strategy because as All Cargo, we were using the Equiline network globally, and it was a company which was growing very fast, and we needed them a lot to maintain our business in India. We wanted to grow beyond India.
How much did you pay for it?
It's about close to 50 million euro enterprise value.
And what do you think it's going to do to your business over the next few years? By when do you see that money invested being turned around?
It's already paid back.
It's already paid.
In 5 years, yeah. Less than 5 years actually.
Okay.
It's almost paid back. And
so where's the next? I mean, where do you want to fill the gap?
What we are doing is, we are growing in that business globally. We are opening offices in more countries in the world where Equiline had no presence.
Okay.
Like for example, China. We had no presence in China, so we acquired last year 2 companies in China, and we opened 3 offices in China in the same year, that's 2010.
So from a cargo perspective, it's a blunder to not go to China.
Actually, at that time, EQ had no office, and we were dependent on an agent.
Right.
And we had a lot of things to fix in Equiline. Equiline didn't happen very easily. 5 years we struggled to bring the company fully on track.
Right.
And had to bring the management into India and integrate with the Indian system, corporate office here, etc. So all that had took a lot of effort, and once that is achieved, then we started taking the next bold steps again to move a country like China, which is very, very challenging, because like in India, it is a very fragmented business, and the challenge is also to retain the people once you acquire the company, because you basically pay for the people, and if the people go, your business is gone with them.
You know, I was just starting this chat with you about people power, people problems.
Yes.
Now, I think one thing that India Inc., and that's something I constantly come across, you know, in my conversations with people on the golf course, they're struggling to not just keep people, but to build a middle layer.
Yeah.
Build somebody who can be strong enough to carry the public listed firm ahead. What is your challenge? You've been one-man face, one-man company right from the start. How do you foresee All Cargo becoming larger than Shashi Kiran?
Yeah. No, listen, actually, it's a little bit of a misconception that All Cargo is one man. All Cargo has always been about people, not only down the line, also in the management cadre. Okay, incidentally, I also have a couple of my family members in the business. My brother, who's been in the business with me since last 20 years. My brother-in-law, who's also been in the business since last 20 years. And they may not so much appear in the press and the media, but they are involved hardcore in day-to-day business.
You know, mentors, global icons, professional CEOs. How many of these people had an impact on you?
One of the persons who I closely followed, I haven't although
met him.
Not met him once, but not really followed much about his success, how he achieved it in depth, but Narayan Murthy.
Okay.
You know, he's my mentor, and he inspired me a lot.
Okay.
Although he's in a completely different business.
Right, of course.
But
and that can totally happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I really like him, not just because of his success, because of his grounded approach, because of his humbleness. You know, I also feel that being humble and being nice to people, it always helps you, because I'm a big believer in karma. You know, you make more people happy, it always comes back to you.
Golf-wise, how often do you manage to get yourself overseas for a golf tour, for a chance to play some golf? Because I guess it does changes a lot of your day, work, everything. I mean, I know people who would spend every single working day first thing playing golf if they are overseas on a trip.
Yeah, I'm not one of those. But I try and catch a game, any exotic place where I go to.
Okay.
Right? So I played in that sense in most countries in the world. And I mean, not most countries in terms of most countries where I traveled in the world. And
which is your favorite course in that case, whichever you played at?
You know, I enjoyed a lot playing in St. Andrews. I played a lot in South Africa. I don't remember the name of the course. I played in Mauritius. I played in Bangkok. I played in Antwerp. I played in UK.
Antwerp should be unique.
Very nice. Hamburg I played.
Is there anybody in your family who gives you company?
No, sadly.
So you have to find people.
I'm trying to convince my wife to play, but you know.
What is your dream? What is the one thing that you want to chase? So when you were sort of a person who was doing transport trucks and containers, then you went on to being all cargo. You wanted to list it, and then listing really changed the deal for the company. What next?
You know, the recent dream of mine, which I just fulfilled, is buying 2 ships. I wanted to be a ship owner one day. That was my dream, and which I accomplished. From now on.
What has that meant for you, buying the ships? What next to the ships?
Is because I recognized myself coming to Bombay as a small little boy, and becoming a ship owner in our industry is the ultimate achievement that one can have, right? And for me it was very passionate.
What kind of ships are these, and what will they do?
These are cargo ships. They run in the Indian coast. We got into the Indian coastal business. We believe it is an emerging business, and this is the next expansion in our verticalization of the business. We are currently in NVOCC, transportation, container freight station, crane rental business, project transportation business, warehousing and third-party logistics business, air freight business, and now ship owning. So we have about 7 different verticals within the company.
Has coming full circle on this story meant being a jack of all trades, or trying to figure out what will give you more money as the cycles turn?
No, we believe we go into the verticals or opportunities where there is a future, where there is money to be made, which create value for shareholders, and which makes us feel happy to do it. You know, so that's the main drive, and backward and forward integration to the existing business that we are in. Right. So you know, that helps in multiple ways. One is profitability, and second is you become stronger and stronger in your business, and you are in a position to offer an integrated solution to your customer.
Sure.
That also creates customer stickiness, because
Does all of this bring you peace
I sleep well.
or stress?
Sorry. I sleep well. I'm 53. I try and look younger to my age. I go on holidays, and I spend a lot of time with my family. I play golf, so I pursue all my passions. I find time to do what I like, except
But that's what you earned all your money for.
Exactly. Otherwise, I don't want to. I want to live rich, not die rich.
That's a good point. And with all that game and much more in life, good luck. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.